Hello, friends, and welcome to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Today, we find ourselves in the aftermath of a couple of very difficult combats where we took out an entire hive of villainy, or cultists, if you will, and then we had to go into a sewer, take out a demon, and then fight all of the people in the sewer that the demon converted to his will. So that was a lot, but we completed it, and now we, I think, have finished up the eastern side of the city. We are now ready to move over to the western side and find the governor. This is Disabled. My name is Ed, and let's get into it. Exit to the upper way. Okay.
Arbitrators, secure perimeter. Formation 4755. Glato, heal.
The huge cyber mastiff immediately stops snarling in your direction and goes quiet at its master's foot, its stillness punctuated only by the thick globules of blood dripping from its metal fangs.
Proctor Exactant Solomon Anthar of the Adeptus Arbates. State your name and the purpose of your stay on Rikad Minoris.
His voice is calm and even, yet his finger remains firmly positioned on the trigger of his weapon. Abelard, what makes this man think he can demand anything of me?
His being a member of the Adeptus Arbites, I presume. One might say such a tone is an attribute of their occupation, your lordship. Proctor, before you stands rogue trader Von Valancius, the Emperor's anointed and bearer of the sacred warrant. As for his lordship's business on this planet, I'm afraid you do not have the authority to demand an answer. I would ask that you treat the Lord Captain with the same respect that you gave Lady Theodora. The late Lady Theodora.
Abelard is still struggling with that loss.
So, Theodora von Valancius is dead. I will deliver this tragic news to Marshal Strax. I honor the pact your predecessor made with the Adeptus Arbates. I won't keep you any longer.
Pact? What was the nature of the arrangement between the Arbites and Theodora?
Your predecessor made a formal alliance with us. She provided us with a headquarters on Dargonis and supported us in the collection and guarding of the Imperial Tithe on several occasions. We, in turn, assisted Lady Theodora in enforcing the law on the worlds under her control.
What are you and your people doing here?
Removing obstructions to an official inquiry. My unit and I came here to investigate the disappearance of one particularly valuable ship, but the mutinous scum got in the way. Now we are having to deal with them too.
What do you know about the situation on the planet?
Only that the governor is failing in his responsibilities. This is a planet-wide rebellion, and it reeks of madness, or worse, of witchcraft. The rebels are blinding both themselves and others, and their ravens are the most insane and unholy thing I've ever heard.
Are you not supposed to help the governor regain control over this world? I thought maintaining order was the foremost duty of any arbitrator.
Not every uprising demands action by the Adeptus Arbates. For now, I am simply assessing the situation, and if our investigation requires that the rebellion be crushed, then we will intervene. Still, the governor had best put a stop to this bedlam. He is not here to just sit and look pretty.
What's this about a missing ship?
It's about a tithe ship. A vessel loaded to the brim with planetary tithes, amassed over a considerable period, suddenly went dark as soon as it departed Rikad Minoris.
What does the stolen tithe entail?
Resources that every world is under obligation to relinquish for the good of the Imperium. In the case of Rikad Minoris, they include the ceramited explosive reagents produced on Rikadi Philia, armor glass, medical supplies, and guardsmen, a living tithe to be recruited into the regiments of the Astra Militarum. Cargo like that is particularly dangerous in the hands of heretics, as it can be easily converted into wealth or used for military purposes.
So what do you intend to do next, Arbiter?
Fight our way to the local administratum palace and ascertain whether a fire or some other disaster hasn't destroyed the documents related to the investigation. I hope the clerks were smart enough to put the records before their lives. If the Emperor favors us, we will extract the data we need, or else interrogate the survivors before we pay a visit to the governor. The questions we have for him are beginning to pile up.
I understand. I've got a few questions of my own. The cyber mastiff lets out a low growl and leans forward somewhere to the side. Solomorn fires a shot in the same direction without even looking up. You hear a stifled, gurgling rattle.
Arbitrators, eliminate the surviving rebels. Now is not the best time for conversations. With target practice standing around like this. Unless you have more questions, I will proceed with my assignment.
You see the governor as a suspect in these activities?
Every citizen of this planet is a suspect, but Governor Medina is under particular scrutiny. Seizing the sacred tithe requires access to information, resources, and power. The governor fits that profile. Then there's this rebellion. Convenient. How many records and crucial witnesses do you think will be lost? Some people call it cover-up. I do not like how aptly this term describes the present situation.
I'm on my way to see the governor myself. You and your unit could accompany me if you like.
I must refuse. Our mission and the Marshal's orders take priority, even over a request from an individual as empowered as you.
That's a fearsome looking dog you've got there. I was impressed by his performance in battle.
That skirmish just now, Glato didn't even get to show off a tenth of what he is capable of. But he is quickly catching up with me for who's killed the most heretics today.
All right, Arbiter, I am finished with my questions.
May the Emperor watch over us. That way, this meeting won't be our last.
Agreed. And a really nice opening to a character who will become available as a companion later in the game. So very cool and very exciting. You know, we've been talking since I first started playing this game for my first episode that this is one I'm not super familiar with. I've not played through it before, and I'm not very familiar with the Warhammer universe. But I did get some confirmation from a video that I watched on YouTube, again, at Revan619, his page. It's where I'm using the builds I'm using for all of my characters. He released a video this past weekend that kind of went through starting gear for characters. And I seem to be doing a pretty good job as far as putting the right gear on the right people and using them in the right roles. So I am glad that my experience with CRPGs and my experience with role-playing games has led me in the correct direction, because up to this point I was not entirely sure. Very good. Okay, moving on. Let's see what else is going on this side of the city. Serve the Emperor in your heart and deeds when you join the ranks of his illustrious army, the Astra Militarum. A lot of dead bodies here that are not available for looting, but this one is, I guess, because we were technically on the field when it happened. I'm not sure. And armored body glove and a shock baton. Nothing of particular interest.
The arbitrator's arrival was certainly a welcome sight. Hopefully they will help to put things back in order around here.
Not happening, old man. All they care about is their tithe. Even if the Coronis expanse turned upside down, they wouldn't bat an eye.
Okay. It doesn't seem that Adira is very fond of the Arbiter or the Arbites, but I'm not surprised by that, considering that she is herself unsanctioned. There was one change we needed to make with Abelard. Look at that. I like it a lot. We're going to go ahead and stick that there. No, better armor pin. We'll go with that one. And then we want... Wherefore art thou? Okay, well, the reason we weren't using... Oh, we do have it. Yes, we do. A power maul, I think, is that... Yes, on the offhand. Okay, there is an upgrade to this somewhere. We haven't found it yet. When we find it, he will get that. But for now, that is where he is at. Okay. Also, for Gladius, the two-handed silent verdict isn't great. We want to go with one-handed swords. And we did not have access to them, though we do now. So we will do that quickly. Dual wield, and when we get back to the ship, I will take some weapons back from Cabela. But I discovered that last time watching how the combat was going, so I was already aware that that was an issue and needed to be addressed. But it was only confirmed that my observation was correct.
I always keep my options open.
Looks like there's been a lot of death in this part of the city, but nothing active at the moment, short of the arbiters, of course, or the arbitrators. I need to start saying that correctly. He might get mad at me if I keep calling him an arbiter when he's an arbitrator. And I don't want to talk to the blind madman. I don't care enough to do so. Let's see what this is about. Fight heresy, serve a higher purpose, safeguard humanity's dominion. Interesting.
This could be an opportunity.
Hey, hey. Got a trap to disarm here.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
And we've got a couple of additional ones as well.
What's a peculiar thing? That's how it's done. I always get the job done.
I like 100% disarm chance.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Clearly oblivious to your presence, the soldier mutters incoherently and does not react to anything around him. I suppose that means he also won't react to me looting his bag. Thank you for your service.
Is there money to be made?
Attention to detail is the
Hey,
key
hey.
to success.
Thank you, Abby. Ancient Terra Monocle. The wearer's lore imperium tests depend on fellowship instead of intelligence and gain a +3 bonus. Interesting. We will look into that in just a moment. Let's finish up looking around down here. Make sure there's nothing else for us to grab. Seems not. Okay. So who's got the highest fellowship in the group? We've got a 12 personally, minus 13, so normally it would be 25. And then for our intelligence, we have a 25 as well. So that would not help us at all. Abelard has 30 and 30, so not a help for him. 30 and 30, not for her either. 30 and 30, not really. 40 and 30. All right, so it looks like it would help. Okay, and we don't need her doing logic anyway, so we'll pull that off and give her the monocle. So now all of the Lore Imperium tests are based on her fellowship, get a +3 bonus, and she is using the larger of her 2 attributes. So, oh, that's an Abelard cloak. What did I put on him? Ah, yes. Okay. Well, we'll put that back. He doesn't need the demon fighter right now because we're not fighting demons that I'm aware of. This is for Adira. Yeah, let's do that. For the moment, we're not doing warp damage either, and Adira isn't really either. I don't really have anybody. Cassia will be if she can ever open her eye around anyone, but that has been a difficult thing to make happen. So let's help out our logic a bit. He's already got a 70, now it's 73. We dropped the deck officer's helmet, but I think that's going to be okay. And he's got armor against, he's got a cloak against warp damage. Okay, I think we're good for now. So we'll bounce out of all that.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
And please let me know in the comments if you would prefer if I not keep you guys involved in how I'm changing gear and whatnot. I know it. Some people can consider it tedious, but for a role-playing game, certainly one like this where gear is so important to your character, I try to keep you, the audience, involved in what I'm doing there. A, so that you can tell me when I make mistakes, because I undoubtedly do. And B, so that you can see what's going on and you get a good, clear picture of how we're doing the combat and how we're doing everything in the game, because it's so gear dependent. It matters. But if you would prefer not to be included in the decision-making process, and maybe I just give you a recap when I'm finished, or anything along that line, we can go that direction. It's up to you. Just let me know what you would prefer, if you have a preference. And we've got rebel troopers up here. Some 10 people, children among them, are huddled together in fear. You see that half of them have black holes where their eyes used to be. Some maintain a gloomy silence. Others are wailing. Several armed insurgents are carefully watching over the terrified hostages, snapping every now and then at someone for shaking too much or crying too loudly. Come to your senses, Harold. Look what you're doing to your own family. A woman of about 60, gray-haired but still strong, is kneeling before a stocky man with a thick, pure white beard, stretching her arms toward him. Take pity on us. Let us go. Stop talking and embrace redemption. Our children have gained true sight while you still believe the lie. Upon seeing you, the man points his weapon at you. The other insurgents do the same. Who are you? And why are you here? No, you tell me. Who are you? And what in the hell are you doing to these unfortunates? I'm the chief. My former name, Harold, is meaningless now. I am a father leading his family to deliverance from woes, to salvation. Aurora has opened my eyes to the truth, and my children will see it. Harold, spare us. Spare your children. His mind and soul are pierced by shards of a colorful deception. Hues once twisted by despair and the Immaterium's influence can never be the same again. Layperson, cognition is not your primary function. You are saving your kin by holding them at gunpoint and believe that burning their eyes will grant them sight. It is evident that the author of the demagogic teaching that confused you meant to make a mockery of your deplorable intellect, to cast your own children into the thrall of heresy, to drown your progeny in this filth with your own hands. Are all these people your family?
All of my adopted and blood children are here. I raised them all as my own, and now I must protect them, help them to see.
What you are doing is no salvation. Stop taking your fear out on the innocent. It will neither ease your suffering nor rid you of your own fear.
But all I wanted was to save.
The man drops his weapon and covers his face with his hands in desperation. You hear several short sobs. That seems like an abrupt twist and change for a very short bit of words, but okay.
There's no washing the blood from your hands, but you could at least let us go, Arld, the ones you haven't mutilated yet.
The old man gestures to the other insurgents who lower their weapons, then shifts his gaze to you, attempting to hold back his tears.
What happens to us now?
Your family will be taken care of. As for you, I condemn you to death. The old man's body falls to the ground. As soon as the hostages see it, they start moving faster and soon disappear around the bend. So, as we've seen, Gladius will err on the side of helping the people under him as much as he can, but he is not willing to forgive what this man had done to his family. So, we are ending that particular abuse, cutting it off at the root.
This is intriguing.
Whoa. Bolt pistol and 2 frag grenades. I'll take that. And another Death World Origin light flak armor. Very nice. Oh, and we got a trap. I'm glad we got a chance to see. Where does it get disarmed? Down over here. Okay.
I know how to take risks.
Glad to hear it. 100% demolition disarm.
What do we have here?
Looks like there's more.
That's how it's done.
Oh, no, he saw some goods down there. Nice. Okay, well, that'll work. We'll take it. I love goods. Goods for me and goods for you.
Over there.
Another trap, my lord.
Just as I planned.
Indeed.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
All right. See if there are any more traps around the square here. The cover was haphazardly assembled from whatever the rebels could find. That tracks. Let's head down, see what's going on the lower level. Ooh, we got more goods. Junk, but that's okay. We'll take it. And, oh, command center. That's where we're here to go. So we're not going to go there yet because we don't want to go where we're here to go. That would be ridiculous. Who would do that? Instead, we will cross the square and go the other direction. Hey, another stairwell down. Interesting. Okay, let's head back and pick up those goods I saw earlier. There they are. And a bunch of junk. That's okay, we'll take it. We are not against junk. Okay, very nice. What do we have here? The goods in this stall are a stark contrast to the rest of the nearby shops. The jars are labeled all-purpose synth powder, fills you up no matter what. made in Necromunda's best factories. Okay.
Is there money to be made?
Nothing like a good old advertisement in the middle of a rebellion, I guess. Really, game? You're having me come all the way down here. You created this little space, and there's nothing here? I don't believe you. I don't believe you, and I don't think you're telling me the truth, game. But he's okay. Alright, well, looks like all we have left to
Keep
do is
your
the
wits
command
about
center,
you.
which is lovely. So let's get down into it. And head in. Oh ho! And I know that sound. That is a beautiful sound. That is the sound of power. Alright, let's check out Gladius here. And we are at level something. Okay, so next we have agility. It's where we want to go. And we want demolition as our skill. We have maxed Medicae, I do believe. So now we are going for demo. Jump to Abelard, and we will start out with him. We did get off me in Reckless Strike. Next will be Toughness and Carouse, which doesn't sound very Abelard that he would do carousing, does it? He seems very anti-carousal, but that's where we are. For Adira, we last did Ballistic Calibration and Lord Xenos. There we go. So we are now at sensory deprivation. The target makes a willpower resistance test. If it succeeds, the target is merely blinded until the start of the Psyker's next turn. If the target fails the test, they become blinded and suffer an additional 5 penalty to all characteristics reduced by blindness, and must make a willpower resistance test at the end of each turn. The first success makes them just blinded, and the second success will remove the blinded effect. Retransmission can be used through the familiar. So we don't have a familiar yet, and I stress the word yet, but if that happens, we will be able to spread sensory deprivation to the enemy with our familiar, which is going to be cool. Rikad Minoris. Each level of Psi rating provides the Psyker access to new psychic powers. It also strengthens damaging psychic powers. Okay. Interesting. Argenta. Level 12. We want to start with strength, and we will go with Tenets of Retribution. The Ministorum Priest deals +1 more damage and +3% more critical damage with bolt weapons. Base Melt-A-Weapon and Flamer damage is increased by 3%. Those bonuses are doubled against demons, psychers, and xenos. So let's hope she and Adira don't come to blows, because she could do some damage. Level 12 for Cassia. We will start with Zone of Fear. All creatures in the area of effect must pass a willpower resistance test or immediately move out of the zone, even if they are stunned or immobilized. This movement triggers attacks of opportunity from the navigator's allies who have passed the resistance test or are outside the zone. So you can force enemies to move and force attacks of opportunity, which is diabolical, let's just say. Strange Vitality. The navigator heals 6 wounds at the beginning of every turn and gains +1 additional wound for every navigator talent taken. The healing increases by +1 for every creature killed in between the navigator's turns. Okay. So, lots of very nice healing there for Cassia, which, as long as she's not one-shot because she's so weak, helps her to probably get really close to max health every level, or every round. Level 12 for our good buddy Pascal. Perfect spot. The operative gains plus 25% cover efficiency, plus 15 perception, and plus 15 ballistic skill. So making him even better at shooting with his gun, which is nice. External power block. This character gains an additional attack with a plasma weapon in the first round of combat and when reloading a plasma weapon for the first time each subsequent round. Very nice. So keep him with the plasma weapons and things will go well for us. That's what I'm hearing anyway.
They're scrabbling around, digging into my skull from the inside. Ah, it's like nails dragging down these metal walls.
I have conducted a visual survey of the locale. The bunker's metal cladding is fully intact and undamaged.
Okay. We like fully intact and undamaged. What's going on over here? Identifying Rogue Trader. The Crimson Priesthood greets you. The Tech Priest offers you a respectful but short bow. You hear a quiet Benaric chant. I don't know if I should be doing that. I don't know what that is. Ooh, a Tech Priest. Another Tech Priest. This one has a name, so he probably means something. Let's hit the button. Why not? The Cogitator looks a lot older and more worn than the ones next to it. However, it has evidently been well cared for. Numerous parts have been replaced, not a single key is jammed, and fresh seals with prayers to the Omnissiah adorn its surface. One of the side panels has been removed. Bundles of gold notch cables run from inside to a small data crypt that was connected only a short while ago. The screen reads, awaiting access code. Looks like we can get in. You have bypassed the security layers. The Cogitator is ready to reveal its secrets. Go to Sacred Computation 7825M. Upon Logis Abel's orders, the archives of every augur station on Rikad Minoris and the two primary satellites of Rikad Star have been queried. Said satellites are named Magos Maruf and Zafira the Keen, after two great champions of faith, whose external cogitators were placed inside the satellite's cores after their shells perished. The purpose of the sacred computation requested by the Logis is to uncover the external influence behind the ongoing insurgency. Computation result: positive. Multiple instances of interference and malfunction detected, suggesting that the ships moving across the system deliberately blinded the sacred augur's eyes. The first of these ships is thought to have arrived 2 Rikad Minoris cycles ago, early in the winter. The most recent one arrived a month ago. Logis Abel's conclusion: the insurrection on the planet had been long in the making, with the participation of external actors. It is alleged that 2 cycles ago, Aurora arrived in the Rikad system, the rumored unholy prophet of the insurgents. The subsequent ship movements can be attributed to weapon deliveries. But what is the nature of their activity near Rikadiphilia? Governor Medina's attention must be drawn to... The final entry cuts off abruptly. Well, that's suspicious. Go to recent observations. The satellite, Magos Maruf, reports that a ship has translated into the system. Its signature is consistent with the records of the flagship of a rogue trader dynasty, House von Valancius. The satellite, Zafira the Keen, reports that a ship drifting nearby has hurriedly sped away. The ship had sent an encrypted Vox transmission to the insurgent-controlled areas of the surface of Rikad Minoris. Another transmission was directed to planetoid Rikadiphilia. Both transmissions were signed Brother Twilight. Their contents could not be decrypted. So earlier I surmised that Brother Twilight might have been the name for the warden Based on this information, I now conclude that Brother Twilight is Coonrad Voigtveer. Let's look at to be investigated. The entry contains planet-side coordinates marked as Heavy Auger Station jamming, possibly a hidden insurgent base? So that's of interest. Now I want to go to the other side of the room, see if there's anything over here we can get into. These heavy chains are used to adjust the height of the command platform. Okay. The tech priest offers you a respectful but short bow. You hear a quiet Binaric chant. Identifying Rogue Trader, the Crimson Priesthood greets you. Thank you. Anything else over here?
I always have a backup plan.
You always say that, Gladius. Is it ever true? Alright, let's talk to Quartz Crame. Tech Priest Quartz Crame. The painfully thin Tech Priest turns sharply toward you. The sudden movement makes his chromed augmetics briefly clang. His gray eyes, set under furrowed brows, almost blend into the pale skin of his face, and he levels you with a heavy, dour stare. Identification. Unit Logis Quartz Crame, official trade representative of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet. The unit supervises supply routes in the Rikad system, ensures the security of the combat arsenal, performs commercial transactions, and secures mutually beneficial contracts. When the tech priest noticed Pascal, his eyes widened. His Vox unit immediately let out a string of screeching Binaric, a tortuously long tirade in which the volume rose and fell seemingly at random. When it was finally over, the Omnissiah's servant bowed his head in deference. Unit Quartz Crame requests permission to transfer information. The rogue trader possesses a supreme degree of power, the potential to influence current leadership, the ability to restore order in the Rikad system. Pascal, what just happened? A detailed complaint. I recommend you consider Unit Quartz Crame's request to transfer information. Show me your arsenal. I accept the commercial transaction. Oh, a trader. Hello, Quartz Crame. We're going to buy all available because why not? Acceptamundo. Pop over to reputation. 113, I like that. Select tradable. Oh, no, hide untradable. There we go. That's what I want. 120. Anything above 100, right? Isn't that the rule we set before? If it's 100 or below, we'll hang on to it. Because presumably we can get more somewhere else. Haven't found a good guide about how to do this stuff. So I'm not really sure if I'm doing any of this correctly. I would love guidance in the comments below if you have any knowledge about how we should be doing this sort of thing. But we will trade. Everything else is set at 100. And we will buy all available again. Oh, hello. Nice. Ooh, a new sword. What do we get? Soul Siphon. Bum, bum, bum. If used by a psyker, I know one of those. Whenever this sword hits an enemy, Veil Degradation is reduced by 1. This sword deals an additional 0 times psi rating damage. Most warriors prefer swords. Yeah, we know. Okay. That's cool. I like it. We will accept. Buy all available, just to be sure. Okay. What did we not get? We did not get a bolt pistol, which we don't need. We did not get stabilizing bracers. Oh, a running gun. That would have been good for Argenta. Unfortunately, we cannot access it yet. We are only explorators, apparently. Man, we could totally do some more here. It's all right. We're going to hang on to the hundreds. I'm convinced that's a good idea. I could be very, very wrong. I am just convinced it's a good idea. And I need to start moving stuff over at some point too, but we'll go through that later. Okay, let's talk to this guy some more. Unit Quartz Crane requests permission to negotiate trade agreements. Are you open to a commercial transaction? We did that already, Crane. Unit Quartz Crane requests permission to transfer information. The rogue trader possesses a supreme degree of power. We read this already. I'm not reading it again. Permission to transfer information granted. What do you wish to tell me? The tech priest says sharply and curtly. Haphazard and careless decisions on the part of the Rikad Minoris governor have led to unacceptable consequences. Communication with the Adeptus Mechanicus sanctum has been lost. Troops must be sent to the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium without delay. Restoring communication with the electro priests and ensuring the sanctum's security are our top priorities. You are the head of a rogue trader dynasty. Your position enables you to exert influence, the tech priest pauses a moment, and pressure on the subjects of the Imperium. Unit Quartz Crane requests assistance. The actions of Governor Faisal Rikadi ab Medina af Coronis must be influenced. Demand that troops be sent to the holy monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I observe that this world's authorities lack diligence in the performance of their duties. This statement is true. United in their denunciations and brimming with righteous criticism, the pair in red exchange knowing nods. And what will I get in return for my help? The tech priest stares at you without blinking. Awareness of the fact that the rogue trader did not stand aside and has influenced the future of the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium, including the possible rescue of the most holy electro priests. Unit Quartz Crane can promise no more. I'll discuss it with the governor. Unit Quartz Crane is grateful. The rogue trader is highly likely to successfully influence the future actions of the local authorities. You're an explorator, aren't you? What are you doing here? Retrieving archive data. Over 70 Terran years ago, the governor of Rikad Minoris and authorized representatives of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet made an agreement. Its goal was mutual benefit through cooperation. Unit Logis Quartz Crane is the fleet's appointed trade agent. The unit is responsible for maintenance of the arsenal and the combat machinery. Blessed are the armorers, for there can be no Imperium without them. Blessed are the valiant warriors, for there is no end to the darkness without them. The Omnissiah's servants exchange short Benaric mantras filled with intimidating solemnity. And what exactly is the Cognizance Fleet doing in the Rikad system? The Cognizance Fleet's presence in the Rikad system is negligible. Its research activities in the system have been concluded. A limited presence is maintained for the purposes of logistical support, fulfillment of vows to maintain the Omnissiah's creations, spiritual oversight. I shall take my leave. Governor's bodyguard and Governor
Rise to the
Medina,
top, or get left in the dust.
whom we are not finding reason to be respectful to from everything that we are learning here. Quickly, let's hop in and adjust our gear a bit because we picked some things up that could be important. Soul Siphon, I am a psyker. Let me put it on and then see what the reading says on it. So additional damage is 0 for me because apparently I don't have a good psi rating, I guess. Or no, is it as my psi rating goes up? Like, so as we do things with the psychic, yeah, okay. I don't need that yet. I'm not doing any of those things at this point in time. So we will take that off for the moment. The moment. The moment. Okay. We have a shield, but I don't think that Abelard has need of one. I haven't seen that he has been behind in that regard. He seems to be doing a great job with dual weapons, so we're going to hang with those. I am going to give Cassia the silk gloves. I've got more helmets here. Analyst's helmet: when the wearer kills a target with an exploit using a single or dead-eye shot, the nearest enemy immediately gains an exploit. Well, hello. We're going to lose the warp goggles for now. We'll put them on if we need them. But that helmet helps her in combat, and I'm here for it. Needle ring: a marvelous compact weapon in the form of a ring that allows the wearer to fire a toxic needle once per combat. I would think that would need to be on a melee character, so we'll stick that on Abelard. Metronome: if the wearer did not spend mind point or movement points during their turn, they gain +10 to all characteristics. Adira, that's for her. First aid manual: using any medkit costs 1 AP less. That's me, because I have to use them a lot, especially on myself. And then we've got this goggles and that and that. Yeah, I'm not really interested in any of those things. Armor: did we get psychic body glove? The wearer ignores the first critical hit in combat. Base armor property +0 times psi rating dodge. Again, if I were actually using my abilities, that would be useful, but for now, it's not really helping us out much. And then weapons: did we get a better plasma pistol? Okay. Well, we know that Pascal needs plasma weapons. It does less damage, higher armor penetration, which is good. Rate of fire is 1. It does have an area attack, though, so we can use it as an area attack. Okay, we're going to stick with it then, for sure. Modified bolter. We have a bolter. This is a modified bolter. Recoil is still 25, but it has a higher rate of fire. Lower damage, but it does more shots, so higher overall damage, presuming more hits anyway. Looks like everything else is pretty standard there. So we will swap that out. Still got the sniper rifle. Sturdy. Let me pull the shotgun. Not because I don't want to use it. Because we don't actually use it for Abelard. So I am going to give Argenta Blast Wave, because it has some special things, like it pushes targets even if the shot misses. So definitely worth having. We'll give that to her. And we will give Abelard. We'll give him Silent Verdict, in case he needs something of that line there. Okay. And we are good on medkits for Abelard. We're good on it for me. Adira needs something. She can't do medkits, but she can do grenades. So let's give her a grenade. Argenta needs another medkit. Cassie is good. Pascal's good. Okay. Let's talk to the governor. I don't think we'll need to fight the governor or any of the people in this room, but worth getting geared up just in case. The tall, dark-skinned man turns toward you and greets you in a curt, military manner. Faisal Rikad Medina of Coronis, governor of this star system. Welcome to my temporary headquarters. The man's gaze falls on Abelard, his eyes slightly narrow. Wassarian. Abelard nods dryly. Governor Medina, my greetings. The governor's expression changes drastically when he sees Cassia. Lady Navigator, what an honor! I never thought that House Orselio would grace our world with a visit. I only wish I could have received you under different circumstances. Cassia purses her lips, and an echo of grief knocks the wind out of those present. House Orselio is grateful for the support you have provided to Urak 5 these many years. I'm not seeing the convoy I sent to meet you. What happened? Did they fail to find and escort you? If that is so, I promise their punishment will be swift and severe. What a curious exchange of pleasantries. Is there discord between you and Abelard? No, of course not. An old misunderstanding. Over a century old by now. It isn't worth your time, Lord Captain. Your convoy was ambushed and massacred, Governor. The only surviving soldier turned out to be a traitor, and was personally executed by me. That is an outrage! I will have the personnel vetting procedure changed immediately. The slightest suspicion will be grounds for arrest. Your Lordship, before we proceed with discussing the matters that are of interest to you, there is a question I feel compelled to ask. It was only recently that Lady Theodora was head of House von Valancius. I have received no word of her demise. How is it that you are now the rogue traitor? Our ship was attacked, Theodora was killed, and I claimed my inheritance. That is all you need to know. The governor frowns and a deep shadow falls over his face. Rogue traitor von Valancius! Slain! Unthinkable! Please accept my deepest and most sincere condolences, your lordship. Do not hesitate to let me know how I might be of help. I need fresh crew to replace those killed in the attack on my ship, and I need material compensation. The governor bows his head in acceptance. Of course, your lordship. You will be compensated for any losses, and I'll see to it personally that your ship's holds are filled with the finest goods from my personal reserves. Abelard nods in approval and remarks quietly, Excellent, your lordship. A rogue traitor has no use for leniency. I can offer you several thousand fine, obedient servants. However, I'm sad to inform that I won't be able to do it till we've dealt with the insurgency on the planet. I'm sure you won't have to wait long. The rabble will soon be duly punished for their heretical scheming. Okay, we've got quite a few things to go through here. Are you so confident that you'll crush the insurrection soon? My own impression has been very much the opposite. Is that so? The governor maintains his composure. I'd like to hear your reasoning. The insurgents talk of a final dawn, the impending demise of the world. Ah, yet another superstition. Surely you don't expect me to believe in it. They also managed to steal a Voxcaster. They've been listening to your communications. Well, that's not much, but it is something. I will order an audit of our equipment and see to it our communication channels are more closely monitored going forward. However, it was only the accidental success of an otherwise disorganized mob of heretics who have no understanding of the art of war. They're using the archenemy's artifacts, enchanted lenses, to perform unholy sorcery. I have also heard of these lenses. What makes you think they're enchanted? Any fool can light a fire with a magnifying glass. That's no sorcery. I see it's not in my power to convince you. Let's change the subject. For now. Of course. I wish to commend the courage of one of your officers, Sergeant Malgar. He and his soldiers valiantly defend the starport. The sergeant who managed to impress a person of such noble standing will be recommended for decoration. In addition, my kinsman, Coonrad Voitvir von Valancius, has betrayed our dynasty and the Imperium. If he is hiding in this system, I want him handed over to me. Voitvir is a traitor? Why, any family, however noble, has an unworthy scion or two. Naturally, we will surrender him should we find him within my jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I have no information regarding his location. However, we have a cogitator here at the command center. It's connected to a data crypt from Logis Abel's sanctum. It aggregated all the Lex Mechanic reports. Unfortunately, the access prayer for it is unknown to me. If you manage to convince the stubborn machine, you might learn something about Coonrad's movements. I'd hazard he fled from you on a ship, not a pair of wings. Thank you, Governor. That was enlightening, but I've already perused your cogitator. Heinrich von Calix, an interrogator of the Most Holy Inquisition, is operating in your system. Do you know where he is? I have been to every location that I'm aware of. The governor lowers his voice. Oh, I do. Master von Calix has left for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium. It's an ancient monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know what his objectives are. Needless to say, insurgent activity has been observed in the monastery's vicinity, but I suppose that's too petty a problem for an agent of the Most Holy Inquisition. Besides, I already sent a small detachment of reinforcements there. The weapon the insurgents were using to shoot down shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master von Calix, you should go to the cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Notes of anxiety creep into the voice that rattles from Pascal's box. On behalf of the priesthood of Mars, I, Megos Hanuman, am officially initiating my participation in the operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against laypeople and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained Magos should provide his assistance. I categorically object! The governor clenches his fist. As much as I respect the sanctity of your monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the Omnissiah servants. We have lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces. Medina and Pascal glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords. You've chosen an interesting time to quarrel with a servant of the Omnissiah, Governor. A critical situation calls for decisive action. I simply cannot let every learned tech priest go to their death the moment they hear about an endangered relic. I need people who can do more than praise the Omnissiah to look after the capital and its millions of citizens. Unfortunately, Governor, this Magos is part of my retinue, and you have no right to issue him orders of any kind. You mistake me for a fool. I know he arrived separately from you, and I would bet my life that no... The governor's voice dies down in the low growl of a drilling mechadendrite. Its tip is directed straight at the bridge of his nose. Medina clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly. So, this is the negotiation technique you have resorted to? Do you think this is the first time I've been threatened with a weapon? No, but this could be your last. Pascal's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement, steady and calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and the squelching of tearing flesh. I am heading to the monastery because I must. Is that clear? The governor mutters through gritted teeth. Abundantly so. Magos? Pascal, why are you so determined to get to the monastery? Is it solely due to the relic? It is why I came to this world. I am expected there. Then it would be my pleasure to assist the Omnissiah's servant in reaching said sanctum. Thank you for your cooperation, your lordship. The drill stops. As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Magos Hanuman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Rikad system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs until your life functions cease, but only within the limits of the Rikad system. You're Hanuman? Well, glad you're alive. The governor raises his eyebrows and stares at the tech priest in surprise, but refrains from further commentary. So again, we're getting Pascal's identity is convoluted, I think is the best way to put that right now. I wish to know more about the monastery. The Cenobium has been run by the Adeptus Mechanicus ever since the colony was founded. The sacred reactor guarded by its priests power the entire planet. I can say no more. It is a forbidden place that even I have only been allowed to visit once prior. Pascal, what's so special about the Cenobium and the relic? What is in there that has drawn the attention of an interrogator of the Inquisition? I have never been there before, but I would presume the sacred relic of the reactor is capable of great destruction should it end up in heretic hands. The fury of the freed machine spirits, once released from the sacred circuit, will destroy everything around them. The degree of damage inflicted may render the world of Rikad Minoris uninhabitable. Heresy must be purged from those blessed halls. I declare any desecrator who defiles the relic's power a Category 3 blasphemer, deserving of immediate execution. Governor, what has perplexed you about my companion's name? The governor looks at Pascal with curiosity. According to the reports we've received, Logus Abel Hanuman set off for the hallowed electrodynamic Cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out you're safe. Perhaps you possess information on Master von Calyx? Pascal's vox rasps in confusion. My name is Pascal Hanuman, not Abel. I know nothing about such a person. What do you know about this Abel, Governor? I've never met him in person. That esteemed Logus supervised the work of Rikad Minoris Lex Mechanics for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel, and I never had the honor of making his acquaintance. A true anchorite. Why did he fly to the monastery? That seems more than just a tad suspicious. When a Logus of the Adeptus Mechanicus wants to go somewhere, we don't ask why, your lordship. Huh. Where can I get more information on this individual? I would have suggested you inspect the esteemed Logus's sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts and connected them to the cogitators at the command post. They might provide you with some small bit of information. It is amazing that a mechanical voice from a Vox can sound so confused. That name might have been used as a signal intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagus Amernot, initiating an investigation and data collection procedure. Adira tenses and listens, then turns around sharply to face Pascal. I can hear my friend's snide whispers through the door. Be careful on your search, Magos. If you stare into a shattered mirror for too long, you might see yourself in it, in every shard at once. Mending it is that much more of a tainted affair then. The new reflection is death-like. I see. Glad to be of service, your lordship. Tech Priest Quartz Crane claims you have not been doing enough to ensure the safety of the Adeptus Mechanicus Monastery. Ah, crap. Push the wrong button. See if we can get back in there. The arbitrator marches forward relentlessly and halts one step away from the governor, looking down at him. Governor Medina, in the name of the Lex Imperialis, I, Proctor Solomon Antar, arrest you on suspicion of involvement in the theft of the shipment of the Imperial tithe. Taking into account the state of emergency on this planet, I will permit you to retain your authority under my direct supervision. From this time forth, you will give the Adeptus Arbites your full cooperation, in particular, by transferring command of the strike groups and other resources to me. Medina, though deathly pale, proudly raises his chin. Arrest me? Transfer my resources? Your demands undermine my efforts to suppress the rebellion. Excuse me, Proctor, but this accusation of stealing the sacred tithe is simply He stops talking under the arbitrator's oppressive, merciless gaze. Denying guilt only adds to the suspicions against you, Governor. Now let us go over everything one more time. The tithe was stolen from your world. You are culpable for this incident, whether you were personally involved or not. You will provide the resources I have requested without objection, as the measure serves to re-establish control over the planet. Comply, or I will consider your refusal an obstruction of the investigation, and take steps accordingly. It seems I am left with no other option than to obey your will. As his law-abiding servant, I honor the word of the Lex Imperialis. Medina shoots you a quick glance. Unless his lordship has anything to say on the matter, that is. Do not even try to involve me in this, Medina. The governor puts his hands behind his back, either to appear more confident or to hide the tremor in his fingers. In that case, please accommodate yourself, Proctor. But before I give you the access codes, I must give a protracted self-exonerating statement. There's no need. All information required of you will be obtained during questioning, without witnesses, be it your personal guard or the rogue trader. Just you, me, and Glato. The cyber mastiff lets out a heavy growl that sends a shiver down your spine. I wish you luck in your investigation, Proctor. Okay, think we're done here. Let's see if Solomorn has anything else to say to us currently. This bunker is under the control of the Albetes. I cannot provide you with amenities, but I guarantee your security within the perimeter. The heavy hum of this massive cogitator runs down the metal walls of the bunker, filling the entire command center. Let's see if the tech priest has anything new for us. Unit Quartz Crane requests permission to negotiate trade agreements. Are you open to a commercial transaction? Do you know anything about the tech priest Abel Hanuman? Unit Quartz Crane has had no previous communications with Unit Abel Hanuman. The memory sector contains other data related to this query. Various resources and data storage devices of interest have been extracted by the standing army of Rikad Minoris for preservation purposes. The command center currently hosts a cogitator that was used by Unit Abel Hanuman. Appeal to the cogitator's spirits for further information. I shall take my leave. See if the governor has anything to say. Tech Priest Quartz Crane claims you have not been doing enough to ensure the safety of the Adeptus Mechanicus Monastery. With a heavy sigh, the governor wearily covers his face with his hand. Of course he does. That tech priest is very insistent. I ordered a squad to be dispatched to the holy cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They haven't been heard from yet. I'm afraid that is all I can do under present circumstances. I don't have a single soldier to spare here in the capital. I'm not asking him about the tithe ship. I don't care. That is all I wanted to discuss. Let's go back to the cogitator since we talked, see if anything new showed up. Ah, and something did. Go to Logis' private archive, result of Logis Abel's data trance. I cannot see the secret design, but I can sense it, shackled in stasis. The minds of the initiated are slumbering in the neural harness of their vows. I am registering an impulse of change. I surmise a potential influence on the stasis of the secret design. There came a time when the spiral was turned into a circle, but the cycle can be discontinued. The revelation granted by the Omnissiah to Logis Abel in the course of his data meditation has been recorded verbatim. Logis Abel is seeking an audience with the venerable Dar Impulse 6, who may assist in interpreting the revelation. A request has been sent to the governor's palace for a shuttle flight to the electrodynamic cenobium. A message has also been sent to the Furibundus system. The cycle can be discontinued. I recognize the words. The voice from the Vox is soft and pensive, barely audible over the static noise. I believe I know the intended recipient of the message in the Furibundus system. It was me, Omnissiah. Grant me the wisdom to fathom this mystery. Okay, so we are leaving. We have accessed everything in the room we had access to. We've done some trading, and we are ready to return to our ship. We have to go to the Cenobium and try to find Heinrichs von Kallax, which we've been trying to do since we got to this system, and see what is going on there. I imagine it's going to be bloody, but I don't know for sure. We'll find out when we arrive. But I think we'll have to do all of that next time. This has been Disabled. My name is Ed, and please like, comment, and subscribe as it helps me out so very much. But until we meet again, make your way with love and light. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey today, and as always, goodbye.